thank y'all for showing up today. It's good to see y'all. We got our special guest, Shasta Myers here. Let's see who we got in chat so far. We got Miss Marion. Thank you for coming out.
Hey.
Let's see. We got Cece. Thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. We got Christina Bell. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. We got Wayne Hawks. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Let's see. We got Jessica Moon. Hey there. Good to see you. We got the Southern Clairvoyant. Good to see you.
You missed one.
I know.
You're skipping him.
There he is. Hey, John. Good to see you.
Hey.
Oh, John's on here.
Then we got Vegas. Good to see you.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, wow, Vegas.
Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Good to see you. Let's see. And we got PW hashtag Ghost Nerds.
Yay.
All right.
Thank y'all for coming.
I think we got everybody now. Thank every one of y'all for coming. Let's get this little dude right here going. And there we go. Have we got anybody new?
Yeah, no.
There we got Southern Clairvoyant saying hello. Good to see you. And we got Hawks. All right, guys. This is our awesome special guest, Shasta Myers. We met her over at Crossover Paranormal. I wouldn't tell them that your cousins or nothing, but I.
For all we know, we may be cousins.
Right?
Come on now.
But anyway, it's good to have you on. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we just wanted to ask just a few questions. And this one goes what?
I was going to say, thanks for having me, first off.
Oh, yeah.
And sorry, I'm looking a hot mess. It's been a long day.
Oh,
That's okay.
Yes, it has. It's been
Usually
a long day.
We might look a hot mess.
Yeah. Yep. That's just how it is. We all good, though. So our first question is, how old were you when you had your first experience with paranormal?
I really don't. Let me see if I word this the right way.
Sorry, y'all. Those cats are in the south. Oh,
I was like, have I broke something already? I really wouldn't have called it a paranormal experience for me. It was more like an out-of-body experience for me that I didn't know that I had until somebody explained it to me later on. I actually was probably around 13, 14, maybe in there. And I remember very vividly standing beside my bed, looking at myself.
Oh, wow.
And I was completely asleep. I could not wake myself up. But I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, this is a fine mess I've gotten myself into. And I don't understand what's going on. So later on, I figured out what that was, which is astral projection. I don't know how many people believe in that. I was real quick to never do that again. I didn't even know what it was until later in the years, and somebody explained it to me. I had another medium that explained what it was. Scared the bejesus out of me. Then I started probably, I want to say back in maybe 97. Before that, I used to hang with the police department a lot and shoot guns and run cop cars and all that good stuff. In 97, I was in Mexico. And that was the first time I ever experienced something in a room that I couldn't see. Temperature dropped about 20 degrees. I could see everybody in the room, but there was something else there that I couldn't see. And after that, I was hooked. So probably since 97 when I experienced it the first time. And then ever since, it's just been little things. And then I started talking, because my grandmother had always told us stories. which we thought were just stories of her seeing things. My mother has seen things. And then it starts to make sense that it's not just me. This is something that's been happening for years in my family. So, even down to my daughter to this day.
Oh wow, yeah, and she's still so young too.
She started seeing stuff when she was probably about 3,
Wow.
2, 3 years old. When she could verbalize it to us. So she was seeing stuff before that. She used to lay in my mom's arms and laugh at people. Like she was laughing at somebody behind my mother. And we're like, who is she laughing at? There's nobody there. But it was exactly like somebody was playing with her.
Wow.
So it's been a long time.
I mean that is an experience of a lifetime, because not a lot of people experience that.
No, it's just compounded over the years. Things get more interesting. You see more, you hear more. Especially as you open yourself up more, you tend to see things, and it's not always good either.
Right.
I've had my share, rocks thrown at me. You name it.
Yeah, we understand that for sure. So, can you kind of explain to our crew here that don't know you or about you, or do you do investigations, or like what do you do with the paranormal?
As much as I can, I do investigations. I get out with John, and because we live in 2 different states, we try to get together as much as we can and do investigations. I have been investigating for probably 15 plus years, and I've investigated from Gettysburg to Kentucky to Florida. Anything and everything I could get into, I was in it. I've investigated with different companies. I've investigated with different people from TV. Yeah, John, we're going to get there.
Next question. That was a good one.
Next question. So yeah, I investigate a lot. There are certain apps that we rely on. A couple I've gotten from people from television that work really well, that I love. And sometimes I just go and sit in places and listen. Sometimes you get the best evidence when you're sitting there talking about what you did that day. And then you go back and listen to your recording, and you'll hear the best EVPs just for sitting there having a conversation between yourself.
Thank you for coming, brother. Good to see you. Get that one down. We got another one coming here. That's Frank with Shadows Past. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. But yeah, John hit that one right on the head, because my next question was, what tools do you use? And apps are one of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't use, there's certain things I can't use. I cannot use dowsing rods for the life of me. They will point back at me. Forget it. I'll just chuck them. I'll give them to my daughter. She's better at them than I am. That's sad to say that a 9-year-old can work 2 pieces of metal better than I can. We have a spirit box that we use that's called the Phasma box. And I'm not sure if you've heard of the app, but I got it from the, oh gosh, I'm out drawing a blank now. It's 2 gentlemen. I'll think of their names in a minute. But the Phasma box is basically, it gives them a clearer way of talking. It's something like the Frank's box and, the different versions of that you can get. But the Phasma box has worked wonders for being on location. We actually used it at a location that John and I were in. And we had a gentleman that was upset because there had been some damage to the property. And he was ranting and raving at the top of his lungs. And the woman that's supposedly in the home comes through the Phasma box and told him to calm down. That he was too wild. So then he went upstairs and he found some pottery, like broken china. he comes down the steps of this old log cabin and he says, "What do you want me to do, Miss So?" And I think her name is Peggy. He said, "What do you want me to do, Miss Peggy, with your pottery, your china?" And it comes through the Phasma box just as plain. She says, "Put it in the cabinet." And I'm like, "What cabinet? There's no cabinet in this house." There actually was a space in the kitchen that was cut out for a built-in cabinet. So it's
Oh, wow.
specifically telling him to take it to the cabinet. So whenever a box tells him to calm down, I'm going to believe the box is working. It even went to the point that night that I said, if I could find the address, then I could, figure out where this place is. Maybe I could look it up on GPS. The female came back through again and gave me a physical number. We put the number in with the street name, and it popped up the property we were sitting on.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's accurate. That's great.
Yeah, and that's probably my go-to piece of equipment. But I have everything. We do the K2. We have a REM pod, cat ball, the cat toys. Those things are wonderful. I mean, we can throw those out sometimes, and that's all you need. I mean, you can get something going with that. Flashlights. That's another one of mine. A mag light. You put the mag light out, and I've had conversations with people in bathrooms just with a mag light.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Just unscrew the back a little bit. And
Exactly.
yep. That's when we actually just started using, and we actually got it to work.
The mag light?
Yes.
Yeah. People don't really realize how much you can do with just little things around the house. I mean, just small stuff you can get and start there. You don't have to spend a ton of money for equipment. Sometimes the smallest stuff is the easiest stuff for them to activate and work with. And they don't understand some of this high technical, you know what I'm trying to say? This high tech equipment that a lot of people are trying to use. Some of them don't understand that. A flashlight, they understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cat ball. I mean, that's something easy they can bump into. I see a lot of highs, Mayhem and Miracles. Hi, everybody. I'm seeing a lot of names I've never seen before.
Yeah, most of these
awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get over to YouTube a whole lot. I want to. I do know that I've talked to John. A friend of mine from Missouri. We're gonna try to start a show in the next few weeks. We just have to figure out what we want to talk about. As you can see, I'm not much of a talker.
Yeah, it runs in the family.
Yeah, but I met a friend a few years ago at a convention, and I think we're going to try to start a little show on our channel and see what we can get going. So maybe we'll see some of you guys over there soon.
Oh, yeah. Be glad to. We got a lot of these folks here. Some of them have channels, some of them don't. But
Vicki, who's from Missouri? Yeah, the lady from Missouri, her name is Tracy. Met her, believe it or not. A lot of this stems from Scarefest. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Scarefest in Kentucky.
Yeah,
that's kind of where my roots go back. That's how I started meeting a lot of people in the paranormal world, was to Scarefest. And I have actually been blessed over the years to be able to work and with just about every paranormal group on TV.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's just a handful of them that I have not. Some of the newer ones that are coming out now, but I've been blessed to have met or investigated with just about every one of them, like the older group. And they're amazing. I mean, in real life, they investigate just as the same they do on TV. Sometimes even more when you're with them. Like they have more time.
Yeah. when you get the cameras out of the way, you can really investigate.
Exactly. You get the real person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Sure can. I mean, I understand that it's hard to concentrate on investigating. You're sitting here trying to figure out what you're looking at, looking through, and
Exactly.
but it's just how you'd have to do it sometimes.
So,
What is it?
Marion,
Right here. What does it say? Oh yeah, you don't have to have equipment at all. Just
no.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We see things too. The house that we're in right now is the house that I grew up in. So we bought it back. There is actually something in in the house. We hear it. We've seen it a couple of times. There's a certain path it'll take through the house. You'll hear footsteps. You'll hear banging. You'll hear sometimes running. There's a shadow, probably about close to 5 foot tall. Just some crazy stuff. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's not bothering me. I mean, sometimes it's a little noisy and it kind of freaks you out a little bit, but as long as it's not doing any more than that, then I'm okay with it. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, there's definitely, since we've moved out, my dad sold this house back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and we just bought it back recently in like the last 6 years and moved back into it within the last year. And I don't know what they brought into it since we lived in it before, but there's definitely some interesting stuff that goes on here. I have 3 cats, and it sets the poor cats off sometimes. They're on guard all the time. You'll see them staring into corners and kind of like hovering by doors. And
There have been a few times that we put down the cameras and just watched.
Oh yeah, we have.
And listened.
Yeah.
The cat balls have been going off, and we'll just be sitting there, just talking to them. No cameras at all.
And you know what? You get a lot of good stuff when you don't have cameras running, and then it's just a story. You can't prove it. No, I'm not, John.
I already know this one.
No. Gosh, I'm not. I have one even worse than the creek story now, John.
Oh boy.
Or tell us that. That's what we're here for.
She's
it's not even paranormal. It's just sad.
Oh.
Well, okay, so he's gonna make me tell the creek story. We'll tell the creek story. Lord knows I'm not the swiftest anymore. I have bad knees and bad feet, so I don't get around very well. And here's Vicky already laughing because Vicky knows this story. Man, you're gonna laugh at the next one. So I go to I take my mom by this haunted building that is on Interstate 81. And we go by and we're looking at this haunted location. They're all decked out for Halloween, and there's the little creek that runs by there. And Lord help me, she wants watercress. I don't know how many of y'all know what that is, but it's a damn weed that you eat that grows in the creek.
Mm-hmm.
So I decide that, I'm going to get her this watercress because she hasn't had it in forever. So I'm standing on the edge of the little rocks, and I'm doing good. I'm getting it. The next thing I know, I'm not doing good. The rock slipped, and I go rolling right into the creek, butt first,
that would be
in the middle of the creek. I'm like, Lord have mercy. All I wanted to do was see the haunted house and get this stuff. Now I'm on camera stalking a haunted house and falling in their creek. So I can't win. The other night, I tell you, we got stuff that like spooks around in the house when my cats are going nuts. And I think I seen a mouse. Now I can go lay in a morgue bed. I can walk through a graveyard. Take me anywhere that's dead things. I'm good. I ain't messing with no mouse. Forget it. So the other night, my cats are playing around, and the next thing I know, they go ballistic, and I see something fly across the floor. And I'm standing at the edge of my mom's room, and I see something fly back across the floor. I'm like, this is a mouse. They didn't trap that thing. Both cats are up on their hind end, and there's a box, and this mouse is like right in the edge of the box. I'm ready to run. I'm shaking. I get the flashlight. It's a damn chicken nugget.
Oh, at least it wasn't a mouse.
They done stole a chicken nugget, I guess, off the stove out of a bag. And they were batting that chicken nugget around. And when I seen it, all I saw was something gray flying. I thought it was a mouse. I'm out. I'm gone. And I shine the light down, and it's the damn chicken nugget. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I mean, you can send me down a dark alley hunting for ghosts by myself, or lay me in a morgue bed, and I'm good. But I'm scared of a damn flying chicken nugget. How am I going to be a professional investigator if I can't even get past chicken nugget in my floor?
Oh wow!
I can't do spiders.
No,
I can talk to the spirits and all that, but I can't do spiders.
No, Vicky, I do spare pants everywhere I go, because it seems to me that I cannot go anywhere and not do something stupid. Either run from a chicken nugget or fall in a creek. So there's one thing you will find if I go investigating. There's going to come a time where I'm going to need a change of clothes. I'm either going to fall in something, trip in something, or end up somewhere I'm not supposed to be. So there's always a change of clothes with me when I go anywhere. I learned from the incident of falling in the creek that you don't go in. And let me tell you, that was the worst place, because nobody ever drives back there until I'm back there trying to change my clothes in the middle of the street.
I had to protect her with a blanket.
Show me the chicken nugget ghost. Yeah. I was gone, I tell you. If it hadn't have been for me having nowhere to run to, I would have been running. And then I saw a chicken nugget. Oh my God.
That's great.
Y'all didn't know what you were getting into tonight, did you?
We do stuff like that all the time. Just saying. Like, I'm not joking. We're actually like full blown in the middle of investigation, and I'm like, guys, I just saw somebody walk past the door in a white dress. So I run out the door and I go around the house to make sure there's nobody there. Didn't find anybody. I come back in the house and I said, you know what? I'm going to check again, because I just don't think that was right. So I go the other way. Well, I turn the corner and there is a chair there. Well, all of a sudden, something white in that chair jumps at me, and boy, I holler out, and I look, and it's a stupid cat.
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
That's when we wasn't filming.
Yeah, well, we have actually been on investigations at a plantation. It's called the Fairy Plantation at the beach.
Did you Sue?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
We were at the Fairy Plantation, and we were there that night investigating, and we had some activity going on, but then some people had stopped by because they had seen us inside. So they must have thought maybe it was an open investigation, and the lady had stayed there with us, so she turned them away, and they started beating on the outside of the house. So it kind of killed the mood. We kind of packed up after that, but I mean, we had some good activity up until that point. But you get some places like that where, you get so into the activity. Now everybody's laughing at me. Oh Lord. But yeah, they started beating on the outside of the house, and we had to go and chase them off. So you get some places where it's so hard once somebody kills the mood for you.
Yeah.
You just can't get back into it anymore.
Well, luckily we didn't quit, because man, we got good stuff. John's talking about the app you use at St. Albans.
We actually have she has an app on her phone now. I'm not sure what it's called. I'd have to ask her, but she has an app on her phone that she uses, and it's sort of like the Ovilus, but it's not. It's some other app, and it puts out words. But we were all down. This was the first time I think John ever investigated St. Albans, and I don't mind telling business because I don't care if anybody here. And I'm not with that group anymore. So, the particular group that I was with there, they had a gentleman that was having an affair. And he was having an affair with another girl that was on the team.
Oh.
Yeah. So mom's running this app, and the girl, we were all in Alcoholics, and it's just this tiny little room. It's got a couple little rooms off of it, and then there's a hallway. And there's been known to be a big shadow that stands in that hallway. Rocks, we've had rock thrown sideways from the hallway because we got down there and got to giggling, and I guess it didn't want us, acting stupid. So he had walked down the hallway and went into the bathroom where this girl was at that he was seeing. And we were all sitting outside, and when he came back from the bathroom, nobody knew anything about him seeing this girl but me and my mom and them. And John's sitting there, and his dad, Pete, my uncle. All of a sudden, the box spits out a fair. And he looks down at the box and he yells, "Fucking snitch, turn it off." And he had been doing this inside the building.
Wow.
So whatever you're doing, don't think they don't see you, and don't think they won't snitch on you, because that box actually spit out a fare when he walked by, and we had to turn it off because it was actually snitching when he came through. And I don't for the life of me remember what the app was.
That's crazy. What a coincidence that is.
Yeah, that's what I said, huh? Yeah, he was real quick to say, turn it off. But, what you do in the dark, what do they say? What you do in the dark always comes to light.
Yeah.
Even when there's nobody there that you think can see it. It's probably best not to do bad things in a haunted building.
Right, Lord, you don't ever know what's going to happen.
Especially when you're investigating, right? You believe in talking to the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. So it ratted him out that night. Everybody heard it. That made me right there. I don't do anything. Like, if the cameras don't pick it up, then the ghosts are going to pick it up, and eventually they're going to tell somebody. Yeah. And then that's going to get back out there somewhere through EVP or something. Makes you think twice about going and picking your undies from your backside, or everybody's done it when they're on an investigation. Yeah. And then you're like, did the ghost see me? Did anybody else see me? Nope.
Hello, Andrea. Welcome in.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Oops, there we go.
Oh, I'm laughing at me again.
Oh, me. So, can you kind of go back and kind of tell us your very first paranormal and actually investigation you ever did, if you can remember it?
Actually, I can. And I thought I was crazy, honestly. The way I first got into doing investigations was, there was a thing called Meetup. And I looked up this thing, other people in the area that like doing investigations. And I found a group that was meeting, and I'm like, I'm not going unless somebody goes with me, because I'm, I don't know these people. So a friend of mine went, and she's like, no, I'm not going back. These people are crazy. So I decided to go back again. And there was a place here local that we could investigate. They no longer let people in now, but it had been, I want to say it had lasted through like Civil War, way back. The place is amazing. So one of the back bedrooms, there's bathroom inside. And they use it a lot for weddings and things like that. So we were in there, and the lady that was renting it out at the time would just give you the building, give you the key, and say, lock up when you leave, tell you where to put the money. So we had a camera that night on that bathroom, and I'm sitting there watching the bathroom. And there was a gentleman that was leading the group. He was by the door, and another lady that was sitting across the room from him. I'm the only one that can see into the bathroom besides the guy watching the camera, but he was 2 rooms over, like down the stairs and up the stairs. It's kind of weird how the house was made. But I'm sitting there and I see something coming out of the floor, and it stands up about 5 foot tall, and it was on the right side of the sink. The only thing in there is the sink, the toilet, and a trash can. We're on the 2nd floor. There's a field behind us. There's no light that's coming in except for just moonlight. So what I'm seeing is a figure come out of the floor. I ain't saying nothing to nobody, 'cause I really don't know these people that well, and they're going to think I'm crazy. So I see it go back into the floor. It did that 2 more times. Then the man radios over and he says, "Is there anybody moving in the bathroom?" And the guy by the door said, "No, nobody's gotten up and moved at all." Why? He said, "Because I'm seeing something in the left side of the mirror." And I had been sitting there watching her come up out of the floor for the last 15 minutes. 3 times she came out of the floor. Well, later that night, I took a picture. And I wish I still had those pictures. We're talking way, way, way back. But you can see me, and then you see an extra shadow standing beside me in that same mirror. So we had sent a gentleman to the bathroom, and he came out with his pants half done, running, and refused to come back into the house because something had talked to him while he was trying to go to the bathroom in that very same bathroom. And we're like, well, I could have told you that because I just saw her. So that was my very first experience of actually seeing something that I couldn't explain.
That's amazing.
Yes.
What a story.
Yeah. And I was afraid to tell anybody. I didn't want anybody to think I was crazy. I would not have believed myself if he hadn't radioed over and said he saw something moving in the bathroom on the radio. I wouldn't have believed it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you been to any kind of famous locations?
Let's see how many. I have done Gettysburg. I have done Waverly Hills a couple of times. That is absolutely my favorite place of all times. I have such a pull to Waverly Hills. I'm not sure why. I actually own memorabilia from when Waverly Hills was running. I have a syringe, and I have a bulletin from 1940 that was printed in the basement when the patients were there, and they distributed things around Christmas that, had different things, news and patients' names and stuff like that in it. And it was actually printed in the basement. So I actually bought that from a friend who had it at an auction. I have investigated the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Let's see. What else have I done? Trying to think. Well, the Trevette Clinic. St. Albans. I think St. Albans has been on TV. Yeah, the Battleship has been on television there in North Carolina. Red Boiling Springs. There's a bed and breakfast out there. That's probably one of my best nights sleeping. And when we got up the next morning, they told us that you got the room that the lady was jerked out of bed by her hair. And I'm like, well, shoot, you could have told me that before I slept in it, but that was the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't slept so good in my life. And she said that the people that slept there before, they came in from their car that morning. They thought they went out to get coffee. They actually did not. They slept in the car because something jerked the woman out of bed by her hair. Yeah, St. Augustine Lighthouse was fascinating. For the Southern Clairvoyant, I loved St. Augustine. It's so nice there anyway. We had a chance to go back and actually walk around the city, but we did. I was the only one that got to do the lighthouse. Then my mom was terrified; she wouldn't go in. Now I drag her everywhere. But yeah, that's an interesting place there. I've done some places in Kentucky too. We did a warehouse in Kentucky, and I did it with the Ghost Brothers. And
Did you?
No, I did not.
I would have
What?
been surprised.
No, I did not. That's
Jerry
funny.
said Steven farted.
I did not. Lord have mercy.
who's Mikey?
What?
Who's Mikey with?
Bye, Cece.
I can't think of names. It's Mike and Chris.
Oh.
Tennessee Wraith Chasers. So the Tennessee Wraith Chasers and the Ghost Brothers were there that night. So we investigated with both of them. They're hilarious, by the way. Don't ever let them get your cell phone. Big mistake.
No, wait, that was me. Oh, me. But,
I need to go to the Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine. I want to go back when my bones didn't hurt so bad, Jessica. I've seen commercials, those videos where the old lady goes in and the young lady pops up. I want to see if that really works.
I highly doubt it, but it would be
I'm
nice.
sure it doesn't, but hey, it's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
I
like
probably
you've been
drowned
to amazing places.
That's hilarious.
Stop it now. But yeah, I mean, I think I've done a lot of small stuff. I mean, we've done private houses. We had this one house we did here local, and we just got to the point where it was so on point that I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it. We had a mag light sitting on the stove, and these people were moving out, and they're like, "There's something in the house. Y'all go check it out before we turn in the keys." So we went in and we investigated. Yeah, there was something in the kitchen, all right. Every time we walk in the kitchen, they would turn the flashlight on in our face. And then they would turn it back off. And I'm like, that is so funny. So we finally just got tired of doing that. We wanted to take a break. So we went in the living room and sat down and started talking. And every once in a while, I'd yell back to the kitchen. I said, "Hey, if you're still back there, flip that light on so I know you haven't left yet." The light would come on. I said,
Wow.
"Okay, that's good. I'm glad you're still back there. You just hang out back there. We'll be back in a minute. You can turn the light back off now." And the light would go out.
That's crazy.
So for at least half an hour or so, I mean, we would just, holler back, "If you're still back there, just turn it on, let me know." And that flashlight would just keep turning on. We'd tell it, "Turn it off. It's fine. You go on. We'll be back in a minute." We went back there and talked to it a little bit more, and the flashlight would come on and answer questions. I'm like, this is crazy. Craziness.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That house was crazy. That whoever was in there, I mean, was perfect with flashlight. Like they loved and was able to use that flashlight so well.
Very intelligent, it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, anytime I can holler back and ask if you're still back there, flip it on, they would just, I mean, it would come on immediately. There was no waiting to it. I mean, it just flipped right on.
Wow. You can't beat that. That's for
No.
sure. So, is there any just wow, memorable moment that you had at the Waverly Hill?
We had a couple. Back then we were using I still have one of the old like Radio Shack radios when they first turned them into like spirit boxes. So I was using that, and I was getting actually my name repeated back to me. And my name's not that normal. So when my name starts coming back to me, that's kind of creepy. But we were all sitting in there and we saw this big flash of light. There's no electricity in there. So
Wow.
we go down to where we see the light and we're investigating in there. And my friend who went with us finds an old cowboy hat in this room. And he goes to put this cowboy hat on his head. And I scream at him. I said, "No, don't put that thing on your head. What are you doing? You don't know who else has put that thing on their head. That's nasty." So we go back and listen to the EVP. And obviously, I was not the only one that was pissed at him for putting that hat on. He didn't put it all the way on his head, but you can hear me yell at him. And then you hear a man come in, and all you hear is, "No."
Wow.
Right over top of me talking. And it was loud. He was screaming at him too. He's like, "No, I don't want you to put my hat on." We didn't hear it until later, but there was somebody else obviously did not want him putting that hat on. That's been the only time I've ever backed away from anything. There was something coming down the hallway, and I'm like, okay, you're not getting closer to me, so I'm going to get closer to you. And I don't know if you've ever gotten the feeling of energy that's like, it just doesn't want you there. So I'm like, okay, if you're not going to come closer to me, I'm going to come closer to you. All of a sudden, all I felt was this rush, like something was coming after me. Well, it backed me up. I mean, I was like, okay, listen, fine. I'm not pushing you anymore. I'll back up. And I'm not one to usually back up. Well, what they say, I thought I want to investigate. Maybe later. I'm not. You know what? It's not. It's different every time you go. It depends on how many people you take. It depends on how many people you take, what kind of experience you're going to have. Because I've done an investigation where it was public and there were 40 people in there. And I swear to God, I've never wanted to choke anybody so bad in my entire life. We're in there and we hear humming. There's 40 of us. There's 10 to a floor. We hear humming. Oh my God, the Holy Grail. We hear humming. We're chasing down this humming sound. What do I find? A little old lady sitting in the middle of a dark hallway, a damn fold-out chair, just humming like hell. She says it brings the spirits closer. No, you just made me chase you all the way down through the building because I thought I was chasing a spirit. Stop humming. You can't do that. I mean, you're ruining everybody's EVPs. Because we think we're chasing spirits, and here you are having, I don't know, gospel moment in the middle of Waverly Hills.
About to be that spirit. About to turn into that one thing.
So we went back again, and there were only like, I think 6 or 7 of us. And that night, we got more activity out of that building. We saw shadows. Like, you'd be standing there waiting for the shadow to come down the hallway. You could see it moving, but nobody ever came to where you were. You could see them walking back and forth in the light from outside, but it never got to where you were. They just walked from room to room.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really an interesting place now that they've stopped fighting over it. I think that they're back there now, so hopefully things will straighten itself out. But there for a while, they weren't doing so good on the hill.
Yeah. That's what it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Jonathan had this one. Tonight you come up to the house. Spirits say thank you and amen, and my dad.
Yeah, they were out here. We had a request to do a couple of house blessings, and I always have somebody that's been with me for years. I had somebody that's been with us for years that is a minister, and believe it or not, he investigates with us. We see things a little bit differently, but that doesn't stop us from being able to investigate together. Usually, if I take my daughter into places that are haunted, I'll usually have him with us so that he can bless her. I don't let her go into places because she's been going into places since she was 3. And we were in this building, and we were, I don't know what they had brought in there, but it was kind of weird because this woman had come through and said, that we needed to watch his dad. Well, that was the night his dad got rushed to the hospital with heart failure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah,
I remember John saying you was there.
yeah. It actually said to watch his dad, and you get certain things like that warn you or try to let you know that you need to be wary, or to look out for somebody. Something's going to happen. I think a lot of that too are your spirit guides, people that follow you, not necessarily the people in the house all the time. Because I don't doubt that we have some spirit guides that follow us. I mean, we've been through some weird things, and there have been things that my daughter has done over the years that have made me stop and question, what is it about her? Where does she get her information? Because she's so much more intuitive than I could ever imagine or ever think of being. So she's found jewelry in West Virginia. She's she's drawn pictures of the Trevette Clinic from here before she ever went there. And she'd never seen it before.
Wow.
She's helped a gentleman find, he had lost his necklace. He'd been wearing it for, I don't even know, 40, 50 years or something. And he lost it. And she told him where to look for it. And he went straight to where she told him to look. And it was in the first box he picked up and opened, and it was laying in the box. And he lives in West Virginia. She did it from a picture that he sent on the cell phone of the necklace.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Can I show up?
Try living with that every day. Sometimes she'll just come up with strange stuff, and it's like, okay. I mean, she's been telling me about her other family. When she was like 3-4 years old, she talked about her other family, her other brothers and sisters, and her mom and dad, her other ones that all died.
Wow.
And that she was married to a man named Jack, and they had a dog named Daisy. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because none of that has ever happened. So yeah, I've been approached by several psychics that have said that she's lived many past lives before. Very weird stuff. I mean, so yeah, she's interesting. It leads for an interesting day.
I've seen one man in particular. He's a very tall man.
Yeah, there's been this one very tall man that's followed her since she was itty bitty.
I was sleeping in the loft bed at the time, and I remember I couldn't sleep, so I woke up and I turned over to look towards the door because I was faced in a corner, and I remember I just saw this tall shadow.
She's never been able to sleep by herself because she said they won't stop talking to her and let her sleep.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting better now. They don't bother her as much, I guess. She's learned to kind of tune it out.
I remember another time I was sleeping in their bed because I was so scared, and I wouldn't sleep in my own bed. And I remember I woke up in the middle of the night again.
Sorry.
And I was looking.
You good.
It's over.
I was looking around the room, and I just saw like a bunch of You know how sometimes hills in video games are weird and they're all
Uh-huh.
big and different? That's what it looked like. It looked like there was a bunch of hills. Just a bunch of random hills. But it was all like people. I could like kind of see a gap in between all of them. So it looked like there was like a bunch of
Can y'all
ghosts
hear all
around the
this?
bed.
Every bit
Yeah.
of it.
Okay, you're good now.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Vicky. I hope she's learning to block now, but she does some crazy stuff. I mean, it's not crazy bad, but crazy like I don't understand it. So I have to ask other people because I don't get it. I mean, I can see things. Sometimes I can hear things. We take her with us sometimes because she's able to pick up on stuff that we can't. Yeah, it's just odd. I hate to say it, she is a tool in and of herself. When we go some places, I know when I can let her in and when I can't. Because I mean, you gotta see you later, John.
Bye,
Um,
John.
you gotta watch her because she's so open and she don't know how to guard herself the way she should. But I've seen her heal with a stone before, with a crystal, completely heal a headache.
I healed you with stuff.
And I don't understand that. I mean, I have to ask. I have people that I can go to and ask. Like she has, we have some friends that are gypsies and psychics, and I have to ask them. I said, "What the heck is going on with this kid?" Because I don't know enough about it for it to make sense to me.
Let's see. One more right here.
Good night.
Good to
Thank
see
you for
you.
coming. I
But
hope you enjoy your first live with us.
I mean, since she already came up here, now you can tell them about her little role in the movie or whatever she's done.
Oh,
Her little stardom.
she has done. She's done one.
Mhm.
She did that one. She was like three and a half. Which is called The Attached. And she got the cover of that, which was great. She actually has done another bit that has not come out yet. She just filmed in October for
Hey, don't spoil it.
she filmed in October for the Righteous Gemstones on HBO.
wow.
So she did a background role in there. So she'll be in the background, but she talks to everybody. So she got in with the camera people, and they set up a shot so it was with two of the main actors, so that it definitely wouldn't get cut from the scene because they wanted her to get some screen time. So they set her up pretty good with that. She's got a photo shoot coming up on Thursday in Boone, North Carolina, where she's going to do two different shots because her background is Native American from my side of the family, but her dad is Aztec Indian. So she's got an Aztec photo shoot, and then she's going to do a Wednesday Addams photo shoot.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah, so
awesome.
she's going to do a Wednesday Addams shoot. And then she's done a little bit of everything. She cosplays. That's how we met a lot of people from different horror movies. Like she's hung out with Jason from Friday the 13th, like some of the characters that's played Jason. She's won a deck of tarot cards, oracle cards, with this photographer that she's with now. A lot of her shots with the movie, some of the stills that came from the movie and the photo shoot with that, a lot of those went out to auction. So she's been in and out of
Random people's homes.
haunted buildings and different things since she was 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That
crazy.
is awesome. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the people that it's opened the doors for us to meet, have pushed us, and now she got her first paycheck.
Oh wow.
She actually got paid for the HBO, the little 13 hours, I should say. It shouldn't say little. It was a 13-hour day. But she got paid for her little 13-hour day on but it's a start. She's got to start somewhere.
Did I ruin my birthday door fringe?
No. So, it's starting her out somewhere where she likes to be, because she loves to be in front of the camera and she loves to do that kind of stuff. So
awesome. So, well, we have had such a ball on here. Oh my God, it's been great. And
yeah, I've had a great time. Like I said, y'all didn't know what y'all were getting into. I'm a little crazy.
Me too.
I mean, with a last name like ours, we knew what to expect.
I swear, if your last name is Myers, you have to be a little insane.
Oh, Sheena, hey there. Good to
Hey.
see you.
What is this? Oh, I was trying to read the little thing. I couldn't see what it said. All I saw was balls. I'm like, oh, God. On Vegas Paranormal.
What did they say? Hey.
Let's see. Where'd that go? Southern. Oh, okay. It's just like an emoji with hearts, is what it was.
Oh.
It just writes in on our end balls.
All I saw was balls. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
the crazy one. Yay.
Oh, that's great. But
This
for
adventure
our
with
channel
Nubs
coming
in
out,
late. Hey, thank you for coming.
thank everybody for coming.
Or
But on our channel coming out, what do we got tomorrow? We got
Hey,
a
adventure.
short.
I like that, adventure with noobs.
Oh, Nubs, yeah.
Nubs.
Is it nubs or noobs?
It's
Nubs?
Nubs.
Let me see.
Oh gosh,
But
Read.
it's nubs.
we
You just had
got
to stick her face in there.
like a short little video, and then we're doing a premiere on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday is probably just going to be like some walkthroughs, and then Friday's going to be the King Fest investigation video,
Yeah.
and that one, man, that was good.
Okay,
That
now
was really good.
where was it? I'm just now catching up with you. I mean, with YouTube. On YouTube much.
We were in McMinnville with Jared and Laura, and it was actually his personal family cemetery. It's
I
way
love
out in the woods, man. It was
Oh,
awesome.
we got
man.
activity right off.
Yeah, we got some good stuff there,
Using
so.
other people.
Yeah, we cheated. All these other people were setting up their stuff, but weren't
They was
filming.
off
So we're
talking.
like, "Hey, use their stuff," and man, it started going crazy. And we're sitting here filming, and they're like, "Where's our cameras?"
People think that I'm crazy, but a cemetery for me, I'm not crazy. My daughter said you are.
You can hear me.
I love a cemetery.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
too.
A cemetery. I mean, I don't even have to be like investigating. A cemetery for me, just to walk through a cemetery, is a peaceful, beautiful place. And I don't know why people think that they are so scary. And give me cemetery day or night. I don't care. I've
Yep.
only been scared one time, and that was back when I first started out in the paranormal, when I went to Mexico. And we went to a cemetery there. They had a big flood, and it had tore up some of the cemetery. And there was a little kid's tombstone. And they build above ground because it's below sea level and all that kind of stuff. And it was so hot, and the wind wasn't blowing. And they had like the little building, and they had a gate on it. And on the gate, there was a bell. And my sister-in-law is on this side, and I'm on this side. And my husband and his mom were walking way down in front, and all of a sudden we stop, and this little bell starts ringing. on the
Oh,
front
yeah.
of the graveyard on the grave. And we both look at each other, and she speaks no English. She didn't need to at that point. We're like, okay, we're done.
Mhm.
We're out of the cemetery. That's the only time it's ever creeped me out. That then piqued curiosity. But I've stopped in New Orleans at the cemetery there where Marie Laveau is. That's one of my goals is to get there in the daytime when it's still open, because I always manage to get there after they close it. But that's a cemetery I want to go visit.
Mhm.
But I've been in cemeteries from here to Texas, and some of them are so beautiful. Kentucky has some that are just amazing. And I had this girl take me to a place in her backyard. She said she goes there to
Wow.
rest and to just be peaceful. And it's like this little patch of trees.
Mhm.
And there's these old tombstones there. And there probably were like 8 of them. 4 or 5 of them actually had names on them. And then there were these stones that were in the ground.
Yeah.
And you could grab the stone and shake it, and you could hear it hitting something in the ground.
Oh, wow.
That's how old these things were. They didn't even, you couldn't even see writing. They were just rocks flipped
Mm.
and standing up like tombstones. And they were
Yeah.
there with the other ones. The other ones were back 1800s.
Mhm.
And I'm almost wondering what the heck that thing was hitting in the ground, because when you shook it, you could hear it smacking whatever was in the ground. And there were like 3 of those kind of stones in there. And then the other ones started to have names carved into them.
Mhm. Yeah.
And this was in the
Makes
girl's
sense.
backyard.
Yeah.
To me, a cemetery is very grounding because it's peaceful,
Yeah.
it's calm, there's no craziness.
We found one in the middle of the woods, Kelly Cemetery. I'm sure it was way beautiful when back in the day, but it was still beautiful to me when we found it.
It was just grown up and
Old, but still beautiful to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and see Vegas Paranormal, yeah, they're beautiful, but I don't feel I'm disrespecting them because I talk to them. I mean, even if I don't know them, I'll still talk to them. We have one cemetery here that I went into with my friend from Missouri, and it actually is the oldest cemetery in town. They cut through it to put in the one of the interstates, and you know that they did not rebury all of those people in there, because this happens to be an all black cemetery. It was the
Oh, wow.
all black cemetery in the city when the city was founded. And for whatever reason, I kept getting the forgotten ones. It just kept playing through my ones, the forgotten ones. So
Mhm.
I kept getting pulled to the back of the cemetery. In the back of the cemetery, about 6 to 8 feet into the edge of the brush line, there were actually stones that weren't uncovered from the brush. I found
Wow.
at least 2, a gentleman and then another one that had fallen over. And I've been by there, and they started cleaning up more of it. And there's so many more back there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
kept getting the forgotten ones. And when I called to try to find out who was looking at it and looking after it, because I was going to go in there and clean the damn thing myself. I mean, we had people, we were going to go and do it. But they finally started restoring it.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many in there that they've just forgotten. There was one
You
name
know,
that was right there.
right? I find, with some of the ones that restore cemeteries, especially, this is mostly toward the old black ones.
Mm-hmm.
They left like old pottery and that kind of thing there. I find there's a lot of people that throw that in the garbage thinking it's trash, but that's actually supposed to be there. Like, it's artifacts. It was just things that they left.
These are old. I mean, these are back.
Made my door frame.
I don't know when the city was actually established, but I mean, some of the stones that were towards the front were 1800s. So I don't know what was way back in the back, but I mean, the city's been here forever. And this was back before the city was named Roanoke. I mean, it was something like Big Lick or something like
Yeah.
that. Weird name. But it was the first all black cemetery. And they cut, like I said, they cut into it to make the interstate. And like, they didn't move all those people.
No.
That's just not how things work.
Nope. They just pull up a stone and chunk it in the back like it was nothing.
Exactly.
I know we've had that happen here. Matter of fact, we got a video coming up with that exact same thing that happened.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So I mean, you can feel it when you go into the cemetery. The gates are never open. The gates are never open, ever. I've never seen them open. And I've lived here my whole life, 40 some years. I've never seen those gates open. And that one particular night when my friends flew all the way from Missouri to here for my daughter's birthday.
Oh, I love that.
The gates were open.
Wow.
And we went in the cemetery. That was the only time I've ever seen them open. They haven't been open since either.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But see, those type of cemeteries, what I typically do is I go on Google Maps and find pinpoints for stuff that's in the woods, and we try to document them before they are completely gone and destroyed. And that is what our Cemeteries Hidden in Plain Sight series is about.
I called the church that handles the cemetery, and they wouldn't do anything with it either. They send people in to clean, but they only clean to the cut line that was already there. I said, you realize there are other people there. There are more in there. You're forgetting people. And finally, I guess somebody must have listened, because they're starting to uncover the gentleman that I was drawn to that night. His grave has now seen sunlight.
Wow.
And I don't know how many years.
Wow.
So they're trying, but I don't know if it's for a good reason. I have a feeling that they're wanting to do something else there, and that's why they're cleaning it.
Yeah.
Which scares me. But
I'll do it.
Yeah, but his stone has finally seen sunlight for the first time in at least I know 40 years, because it's never been open and to where I could see it before in sunlight.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hanging sea captain in the local cemetery.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of that one.
No, but you know what? They're the place at the ferry plantation that I was talking about earlier. Speaking of hanging, they still have their hanging tree.
Oh, yeah.
They still have their hanging tree out back. That was one of the reasons why we went outside, because their hanging tree was still out back. And I'm thinking, this is just weird. We were getting hits from just being outside from the tree. I didn't like that part too much.
Yeah. And a
I'm
lot of people put those down, but
yeah, no, this one was still there. I'm like, and it's sitting right next to a tennis court. You have a tennis court and a hanging tree. I mean, it was in the middle of a subdivision.
oh wow. It's a wonder they hadn't cut it down.
Hanging by chains in an above ground stone building. Oh, yeah, some things are a little too weird even for me.
Yeah.
That one might rank up there.
I am weird.
Although I mean, I have laid in a morgue bed before for about an hour.
I'd
I
be
hate tight spaces, but I went in the morgue at Waverly Hills and went head first and just laid there. I'm like, okay, if somebody's going to talk to me, now's the time to do it.
Did you guys know?
Yep.
No Snugs.
He was in here earlier.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Everybody's grabbing the links.
Yeah. Thank y'all for dropping each of your links. We appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna have to get off because I got to get ready for bed and got to get a shower for work. But thank you every one of y'all for coming out tonight. We've had such a good time, and Thank you for coming on our panel. It has been so fun. And even a little bit back there for talking about her story there. That was awesome.
I kept telling her, no, you can't be on. You can't interrupt. You can't, no. And she does it anyways. You can tell how much of a diva.
I'm starting a hashtag. Hashtag Creek Shasta.
Creek Shasta. I will never live down falling in that creek. Oh my God.
I think hashtag chicken nuggets better.
The deadly chicken nugget.
Lord.
Hashtag deadly nug.
Deadly nug. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
all by next time we talk, I'll have done something else stupid.
Share the hashtags in the chat.
That's insane. He's in a coffin hung by chains. That is insane.
And where is this at? This sounds like a road trip.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Who was that was saying that?
Wayne Hawks.
It was
Yeah,
Hawks.
Wayne Hawks. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a road trip to me.
It's I figure it's probably in Florida somewhere, but I don't know. The sea captain, anyway. That's insane.
No, I've seen some weird
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
Well, thank you everybody for coming
Yeah.
and hanging out with you.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks everybody for coming in and listening to my crazy self. I had a blast.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Well, I'd do this again sometime.
Yeah.
But
Somehow
all right,
we
guys.
meet in the middle so that we can investigate together someday.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is it?
You're trying to leave the studio and you would leave her in here. You have to
Oh.
end the bar.
Whatever. I'm still trying to figure out how this works. But anyway, thank you guys on YouTube
Bye,
for
y'all.
coming in. We'll see y'all later.
Y'all have a good one.
There we go.